Now I'm the Rockhopper in a great big land and a canyon so huge they call it Grand. So everybody get out your hiking boots. I'm gonna take you on a hike. It's gonna be a hoot. So bring your snacks and your water too, cause we're going down a trail and it's called Grandview. Okay, we're just getting started down the trail. It's easy going down, but remember, it's gonna be tough going up. But the views are gonna be good. You can kind of look out here, see what I'm talking about. Yesterday I was told that somebody died not far from me falling off a cliff, and that another person fell off the cliff, but they actually lived, and I think they got away with a busted knee or something like that. So this place can be pretty treacherous. There's entire books written as to how people die here. There are so many ways in which people die here. Falling off cliffs is certainly a popular way to go. People taking selfies and stepping a little too far back. Dehydration, dying of thirst, getting lost, heat stroke, and the list goes on. Cardiac arrest is another popular way to go. A little apricot mallow beside the trail. This webbing is the home of tent caterpillars. It's a protection from predators. I've only been on the trail about 10 minutes, but already lost a lot of elevation. They've done a fair amount of rock work on this trail. The intrepid hikers coming back. Now comes the hard part, going back up. Got some shagbark juniper here. You can see it's got a real shaggy kind of bark. It just sort of peels right off. People get lulled into a false sense on this trail, thinking while they're going downhill, hey, this isn't so bad. And then they get down to the bottom. They get about halfway back up, and they realize they just don't have the energy, and they're just struggling to get back out of the canyon. Plus, it can be 20 degrees hotter at the bottom of the canyon than the top of the south rim. And they forget about these things. Or they just don't think about these things to begin with. Some Mormon tea with its tiny blossoms. Grand Canyon hikes with the factors of heat and elevation will humble you. I'm starting to sweat now. I've probably lost 1,000 or more feet in elevation, and the temperature is probably about 10 degrees hotter than when I started. Is that a type of agave? I think it might be. Certainly got a big flower on it with a lot of big wasps pollinating it. I just came across a couple on the trail that I had met last night, and they said that I could probably make it out of here by dark. They, however, had set out at 5 in the morning, so I guess we'll see if we get out by dark. An old leftover rusted piece of barbed wire. Somebody must have lived out here. Some colorful rocks out here. I'm going off the main trail down something here that looks like an old road or old trail. Look at this thing. Looks like an old piece of mining equipment, maybe. Something that powered the conveyor belt, perhaps? Oops, a little late for that. More pretty colored rocks. Could that be malachite with a little touch of chrysocolla? The Page Springs Hance Trail goes right along there, and then it comes down, and you can see it down there. But we won't be taking that way. There's the Grandview trail from which we've come, and this is the Horseshoe Mesa trail. That's where we're going. Old mining trash. Check this place out. Looks like an old miner's cabin or something. Let's have a look around. An old fireplace and chimney to the left. The sound of cicadas. Going through the cicada zone. I come around the corner and there's a big view out here to the right. You can just get a little glimpse of the Colorado River down there. I haven't seen anybody for a couple of hours. I may be the only person out here right now. And it's pretty warm. My back is pretty sweaty, as is my forehead. So I'm taking a little break. Back on the main trail, heading downhill now. Probably heading another 800 feet or so down. As we go down, the temperature goes up. Made it to the Tonto Trail. The Tonto Trail follows the Tonto Plateau, which is like a canyon plateau within the canyon, and above the Colorado River by about 1,500 feet or so. Wow, it's a lot hotter down here. Can you see the sheen of sweat on my arm? The Tonto Plateau is characterized by short, scrubby vegetation, such as these plants here. Mormon tea, yucca, and something that looks like, I don't know, chamise or sage or something. These plants here, which look kind of dead. As the name implies, the Tonto Plateau is pretty flat. So it makes for some pretty easy walking. You do have to go around numerous canyons, though, that bisect the plateau. Can you see the cicada right there? It must be 93 or 94 degrees down here. It'll be even a few degrees hotter down at the Colorado River. It's it's pretty hot. That's why people like that couple get up at 4 in the morning so they can get a hike started by 5. Not for me. I'm not a morning person, never have been. I'll start later, even if that means having to endure some heat. I'd rather endure the heat than have to get up at 4 in the morning. I'm seeing water down there. It's looking pretty refreshing right now. Let's go check it out. There's life in this stream. Pretty bizarre looking life, like whatever that thing is right there. Got some tadpoles. So we could go this way, Horseshoe Mesa, which would take us back to the trail we were on, and then we could head back up top. Or we could continue along the Tonto. I think there's one more trail that goes back and loops around. Let's take our chances with the Tonto and darkness. It's probably about 95 or 96 degrees, slight breeze, and about 6% humidity. And the t-shirt that I dunked into the stream, it's almost dry. And it's only been about 15 minutes. We could have gone up that way, but we didn't. Thank you, cloud, if only for a minute of coolness. This rock looks kind of weird, like it has dinosaur tracks on it or something. Hello, little buddy. Didn't expect to find you along the stream here. Little baby rattlesnake. So we're just on a route marked by cairns. Hopefully it'll get us around the mountain if we continue. If not, we gotta head back and do the Horseshoe Mesa Trail. The cairns mark that the route is up there. I just don't think there's enough time in the day to go up there and maybe do some bushwhacking and exploring. I think we're gonna have to turn back. It wouldn't be a good place to be caught in the darkness. I didn't bring a flashlight, but there would be a nearly full moon coming out later on, and I'm down to about a pint of water. Although, in desperation, I could go back to the Cottonwood stream there, Cottonwood Creek, and make an earthen filter as best I could. But it still might be a little dicey due to some the situation of the gravel there. It's about 3:45. Got a few hours of daylight left. However, we've got about 6 or 7 miles to go, and we've got about a 2,500, possibly 3,000 foot climb to get back to the top of the South Rim. So no matter how you slice it, it's going to be cutting it a bit close with darkness. The Tonto Trail goes along there and around. Probably be another hour or two, and it may not even connect to another loop trail that gets me out and up to the top. So it's best to head back. Aside from the first couple hours in the morning, I've not seen anybody out here anywhere. It's pretty amazing. Silence and solitude can be yours if you're willing to come out here in the heat of the day, I guess. Listen to that. What do you hear? That's right. Silence. It's beautiful. I'm not finished just yet, buddy. Been chewing on a little Mormon tea to get the ephedra and the stimulant effect. And I'm going to dunk my shirt into Cottonwood Creek here, and before we head to the top. Alright, shirt's wet, let's head up Horseshoe Mesa. The sun has slid behind the cliffs. Good and bad. The good is now I've got some shade. The bad is daylight's running out. Feeling a little hot, a little thirsty. The bad part of the canyon is you've always got the worst for last. Trying to climb out of here up those steep slopes. It can be brutal. We still got to get up to the top. The sun just went behind a cliff. Ooh, nice shady relief. Let me show you this view. It's pretty nice too. Okay, so I just ran into a couple people here. She's suffering from dehydration right now, and she vomited. So you want to be very careful. Make sure you bring plenty of water, salty snacks, whatever you need to do, and take breaks in the shade as much as you can if you need to, because you could end up in bad shape and, you know, Bad things happen out here to people, so be very, very careful. What happened to you?
Just, I don't know, just got dehydrated. I've drank all my water, but I don't know, I guess 2 liters isn't enough.
2 liters may not be enough. You can get very dehydrated out here like she did, so again, be careful out here. The canyon's looking pretty at the end of the day, and it looks like we might just make it out of here before dark. We'll see. Yeah, that poor girl, she ran out of water, and she was suffering from dehydration and mild heat exhaustion, I think. So I hope they get out of here by dark. The Grand Canyon's like a mule driver. If you're not careful, it'll beat your ass. I have to say, I think I pushed it to my limit today. Maybe 12, 13 miles, 95, 96 degree heat, very low humidity, probably about 3,500 foot elevation drop and 3,500 foot elevation gain. Certainly has upped my heart rate a bit today, and I took 56 ounces of water with me. I can hear voices from the top. We're getting close. I can see the top. It's right there. And just a nick of time. It is sunset, and it's getting kind of late. So I don't know about those people down there. I hope they make it before dark. At least we did. So thumbs up to that. Sunset. Saving one last sip of water before I made it back to the top. So here it goes. One tiny trickle. All right, we made it back to the car before dark. Fist bump on that one. Woohoo! Good morning. It's the day after the Grand Canyon hike, and you can see all the salt on my hat from where I was sweating so much yesterday. The only damage from yesterday's hike is a little spot of blood on the little toe. Other than that, just a little soreness in my left ankle because I twisted it about 4 weeks ago. When I got back to the car after the hike last night, I drank over a half gallon of water in probably like 15, 20 minutes or so. The combination of having a shirt that was wet on the back from all the sweat and drinking that much water in such a short time started to give me the chills, so I took my shirt off and put on a dry shirt, and yeah, I actually started kind of shivering and shaking for a little bit there. I took the shirt off within just a few minutes of reaching the car. I hope the couple that I met as I was hiking back out, the one where the woman was vomiting, I hope they made it out before dark, but I really kind of doubt they did. They were pretty much out of water, she was for sure. I gave them a little bit of salty food, and hopefully that helped them out a bit. I know that any food they were eating, though, was only going to exacerbate their dehydration problem. But hopefully the salty crackers that I gave her helped settle her stomach. I imagine they didn't get out until an hour or two after I got out. I hope you enjoyed being my companion as I took you for a hike down in the Grand Canyon. If you want to help keep my channel alive, you gotta hit that button. Oh yeah, subscribe. And in the meanwhile, don't commit no crime, cause I'm the Rockhopper. I wanna see you next time. This is the mess you might encounter if you want to visit the Grand Canyon. Just giving you a heads up.